Welcome to Health and Wellness with Eva, where all your health and wellness needs are the main priority. Please join your host Eva as we journey through getting to know the mind and the body for a healthier and happier you. Tune in on Mondays at 4 p.m. or live on South Florida's True Oldies radio station at 8 p.m. Give us a call at 765-425-7445. Let the show begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are excited to be here today with you. I do have a special guest. Dr. G is joining me today, and we're going to talk about health and wellness and how you can take control of your health and wellness and do it naturally and organically, right? The way it was meant to happen. And we're going to talk about the body, and we're going to hear from Dr. G because it's important to understand how our body works and certain things that happen to us, and then how can we, address those issues. So, Doc, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, great to be here.
Thank you. I love your knowledge. I love your passion for wanting to help. And I know, you've been an MD for many, many years, but you turned. You came to the other side, which is, holistic medicine, right? Natural, organic. Do you want to kind of share your story a little bit with us?
Oh, sure. Well, for the period of time right after my residency, I was recruited to do hospital care and office medicine in West Palm Beach. And this I did for, gee whiz, a total of about 32 years. I had a short stint in Key West for a while where I did the same in internal medicine with intensive care mostly, and some office follow-up. But over the period of years, there was just too much toxicity that I noticed and side effects from the prescription drugs. Many of the drugs were given to just take care of the side effects of other drugs. So I made a great effort to find natural ways to solve the many different problems that the body has to get put back on the path to health. So I found Super Patch, and I'm very happy that I did.
Awesome. Well, we are so glad you did as well because I know it's very important to take back our health, and I know you're very passionate about that. So what I'd like to do is talk about our bodies for a minute. I love how you explain pretty much how the body works. And I know we have a lot of systems in our bodies, cardiovascular system, right? Renal system. There's so many systems that run our bodies, but we have a very important system that really plays a big role, and that is our immune system. And I know we have an amazing patch that actually helps our immune system function properly. So I'd like to start there, and I'd like for you to kind of share our immune system and how impactful that is for our bodies.
Oh, certainly. Well, as you know or may not know, 75% of our immune system is in our gut. It is extremely important that we maintain a healthy biome. The biome consists of the commensal bacteria that live in the gut. And it's important that you actually nourish the commensal bacteria with fiber. Now, fiber of many sources, mostly vegetables and fruits, is just fine. But it's very difficult to eat 30 grams of fiber every day. So having a supplement of fiber could be just psyllium, which is very common fiber found in most pharmacies on the shelf, you can add to the health of your biome and keep it healthy, because that's what they eat. We don't eat psyllium. The good bacteria in your gut do. So you have to keep them strong and varied, and have them have a good method of reproducing themselves. If they start to get underfed, or you're eating less fiber, or you're not giving them enough fiber and not enough water, well, then they begin to become rather harmful for their small intestine, and they actually eat the little band that connects the cells together, and this is very difficult to manage when the band is gone, holding the cells tightly together, because the then cells begin to separate, and it allows partially digestive proteins, foods, and parts of bacteria to fall down between the cells and into the bloodstream. This can cause a very toxic situation that disturbs our ability to detox within the liver, and makes that process even more difficult. So it's very important that you maintain a healthy biome, avoiding as often as possible alcohol, white flour, gluten, high fructose corn syrup, and try to avoid GMO products. This will allow the bacteria in the gut to maintain a healthy, viable status and do what it's supposed to do for you.
Got it. So other than that, we need to wear our Defend patch, obviously, right? To help and protect, the body, right? Because that's what the immune system does, is it protects us, correct?
Yeah, the Defend patch, it will restore the body's ability to take care of itself and protect itself. So
Right.
it's essential that we give our immune system some support. The miracle is in the body. The patch just gets it to the right direction to start to mend and heal itself.
Exactly. And since we're talking about that, because obviously the immune system is so important, but another part of our bodies that is very important is, balance, which is homeostasis, if you will, right? And when our body is balanced, it's functioning properly, then the repair begins, right? And can you touch a little bit on homeostasis and how important that is to have our bodies in balance at all times?
Well, you may or may not know that homeostasis is a big word that reflects that the organ systems communicating one to another, whether it's hormonally or neurologically, are in harmony with each other.
Mhm.
They're not overriding any one section. They're all in harmony and opening and closing when they should. So it's important that we support the balance and anti-inflammatory system with Liberty Patch, which improves the way we actually move during the day and how we change our position and direction. And actually, it's the cornerstone of a healthy lifestyle. So if we want to have a strong execution of our daily activities, we have a healthy biome, and we use a Liberty Patch.
Mhm. So the victory and the liberty will create homeostasis in the body, which is obviously a fancy word for balance. So we have those two patches for that, and then we have, of course, the Defend to help the immune system, function properly, right? So at that point, our immune system is starting to repair itself, because again, the patches don't repair, the body repairs, right? So the body is moving into balance,
Exactly.
moving into homeostasis. So we should start noticing things. I know for myself, I feel better than I ever have before. I feel balanced. I don't feel that I'm sluggish anymore. I'm very alert. I have a lot of energy, kind of like I did when everything was running perfect, right? And I know it took me about a month to get there fully. And so that is obviously important for our bodies to maintain that balance. Um, because again, everything just
Absolutely
functions.
right. And as you said, the victory patch is very important to the performance of athletic type of activities that may be involved in daily activity. So the quality of life is extremely important to maintain. So as far as athletic performance, strength, power, balance, agility, and the ability to recover from an injury, all of these are supported by Liberty and Victory patches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Well, I love it. And I know I use those. I know you use those. And we have so many people that have really had some life-changing results because of these patches. Now, the other thing I would like us to talk about, since we're in the gut and we're kind of, hanging out here, we have our Ignite patch, which helps with burning 25% more calories. So for burning more calories, we're going to be losing some weight. Can we talk about why is it better to do it naturally and organically instead of these crash diets that people jump on and then they lose the weight and they gain it all back, and it kind of messes our bodies up a little bit, I believe.
Yes, that is a major fad type of thing. The fad diet now is from many centers. You can get semaglutide, which is actually a form of diabetes medicine that we found that will help you lose weight. But now it's being held out for that sole purpose alone. You don't need to have diabetes. You just need to want to lose some weight. The problem with that is that if there's no lifestyle changes, if the person continues to eat white flour, gluten, high fructose corn syrup, drinks soda and alcohol, and uses GMO products, doesn't exercise, and sleeps poorly, using semaglutide is going to maybe help them lose weight, but it'll just bounce right back. We're talking about generating a lifestyle change that will continue for the rest of your life and have a health span, not just an increase of your lifespan, but an increase in your health span in your life. So it's very important that lifestyle is put hand in hand with your effort to lose weight. And yes, the Ignite patch is quite a helpful patch, which uses the same collection of information from our skin and sends it to the center in the brain that's decoded. And then it's decoded there, and action is taken on our metabolic rate. And the consumption of calories will be 25% more, I believe, if we have the patch on. Now, if we make sense with our diet and our lifestyle and try to eat less than 60 grams of carbohydrate in one particular day in a 24-hour period and make that a lifestyle change, then the change that happens to you will be maintainable. So it's very important that this is used with the Liberty patch, as well as the Victory patch and the Defend patch. All of these need lifestyle changes. So the Ignite patch will add to the ability for our metabolic system to burn 25% more calories while the patch is in place.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to your point, when you feel better, you do better, right? And so when your body is in balance, right, and it starts to function properly the way it was intended to, things start to level out and now you're making better choices because you're more aware of the situation, you feel better, and so that makes perfect sense, which brings me to our freedom patch for pain. Again, we have so many folks, with pain out there. And again, pain takes away from you. You feel sluggish, you feel tired, you're not in the right state of mind, obviously, and it takes a toll on the body. And the body is not meant to function that way for a long period of time. So I would love for you to kind of touch on that as well and why it's important to take control of pain issues.
Yes, yes, very important. One of the issues with medicine and chronic pain is the use of opiates. The use of opiates has never been a solution to pain. It's only masks the problem. It doesn't resolve the pain issue. So the person ends up being dependent on the opiate. And then we have a second problem emerge. So to make this all make sense, we're looking for solutions that are natural, solutions that make sense. Now, the Freedom Patch provides a daily on-the-go relief just from muscle and aches, just from normal wear and tear. And it should be incorporated with regular exercise, regular chores, and daily activities. All of these will be more manageable, and the discomfort that's felt during them will be more manageable with a Freedom Patch in place. Now, the Liberty Patch and the Victory Patch both reduce inflammation, which is the beginning of all pain. So
Right.
just remember, it's not unrelated to the biome. All of it's related to the biome. The pain signals come from interleukin 6. Interleukin 6 is predominant in the gut. The gut has more and more incorrect signals, and it begins to switch. And instead of having the immune system working properly, it switches and finds immune problems with itself. And then we get the chronic diseases of autoimmune diseases evolve. So it's so important that we just keep in mind a good, healthy lifestyle.
Now, you touched on that for a minute, and this is a big problem, autoimmune diseases. And I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but I promise you, every other person I think has an autoimmune disease, and that's a big number. Does that happen because the immune system in most cases is not functioning properly, would you say?
Well, it's definitely because it's not functioning properly. But the imbalance in let's get back to the cellular separation when there's an imbalance of fiber and water. The cells the bacterial cells become rogue, so to speak, and they begin to eat the little strap that's holding the cells together. They open and allow a lot of undigested proteins and pieces of bacteria, and all of these fall down between the cells and filter into the bloodstream. Now, this is like a storm starting in our gut, and as the storm happens, the body reacts to it in a way that, we have inflammation going on, so it continues to send signaling interleukins, we call them. And so these interleukins become more and more predominant, and as interleukin 6 rises, it becomes disproportionately high and causes a overreaction, and then a total degranulation of mast cells happens And that is part of what happens when the autoimmune system is developed. And that, unfortunately, it leads to diabetes, multiple sclerosis, lupus, and a lot of very, very difficult diseases to treat, and all of them are preventable.
So as long as we keep our immune system intact, if you will, right? We want to make sure it's functioning properly, our bodies are balanced, we can help repair the body, right? The body will repair a lot of that damage that has been done, throughout different times of our lives, and due to the lack of, nourishment, the lack of vitamins, minerals, everything that we need for our bodies to repair and heal.
Yes, and
Yeah.
as the defend patch begins to take effect, and the signaling is sent to the brain and decoded, then the messages that are being sent from the gut to the brain are managed differently. And when the gut actually begins to respond to the decoded messaging, then there's a reduction in the inflammatory cells that are in the gut, and there begins a tightening of the junctions or the connections between the cells. Less of the debris and partial bacteria particles called lipopolysaccharides are dropping down between the cells, and less, or if any, partially digestive proteins, all of this stops as the junctions become tight and the body begins to heal. Now, this all happens with lifestyle, and of course, with a defend patch that will help. Absolutely.
Right. Awesome. All right. Well, very good. So we have a way to allow the body to start that repair process naturally and organically, because that's what our bodies were meant to do. So no ingredients. It's just a simple technology, these patches, and we're going to share more. We're going to go to commercial. So if you want to go check this out, go to mypatchqueen.com. All the information is in there, and we'll be right back with Dr. G after our commercial break with more information on your health and wellness.
Today we're going to talk about our REM patch. This is the world's first and only drug-free sleep patch. Let's get a little background on sleep neurology to understand what the REM patch does and how it works. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a neural code that controls and regulates it. Neural codes are just signals transmitted as brainwaves. Sleep is also a physiological function that is managed by these complex signals. Neural networks are how different regions of the brain interact with each other through neural signals. Leading studies show that sleep states can be better synchronized if these regions interact in a well-balanced way. A key neural network for good sleep is the hypothalamic cortical network. Well-balanced interaction of the neural signals in this network is shown to be important for the initiation and maintenance of healthy human sleep. So how do we improve this neural network? Easy. We apply the REM Super Patch. The REM Super Patch has this very intricate and special pattern of ridges on it. It's like a QR code. However, when these ridges on the pattern come in contact with our skin, they stimulate skin sensors that generate and send a very complex signal to our brain that helps balance the sleep network. We already know that our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation, including light, heat, and cold. With the REM Super Patch, the skin uses our sense of touch to absorb and transmit the information. In fact, a recent study shows with statistical significance that the REM patch helped people sleep better without drugs, supplements, lifestyle, or diet changes. The REM patch is an amazing solution for healthy and better sleep.
Welcome back to Health and Wellness with Eva. We hope you're feeling recharged and ready to dive back into our journey towards wellness. Stay with us as we continue to share valuable information and inspiration. We're here to support your goals, so let's make the most of this time together. Without further ado, Back to the Heart of Wellness with your host, Eva.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Dr. G, and we're talking about overall health and wellness today. So you'll find all this information on mypatchqueen.com, and there's videos in there and all kinds of information, everything we're talking about today. There's also a way for you to participate with these patches as well. So all that is in that link, and get in there and take a look. So Doc, since we're on the subject of, of the Defend patch, right, the immune system, homeostasis in the body, let's talk about our REM patch. That's the sleep patch. And I don't think a lot of people realize how important sleep is and how important it is for our bodies, because when we're in that deep REM sleep, right, that's when the body actually heals, repairs. It almost reboots, if you will. And it's very, very important. And as we know, 75%, which is a high number, right? 75% of the population have some sort of sleep issues. They're not sleeping, which means that 75% of the population have other issues due to the, lack of sleep, right? Due to the lack of the body not being able to repair, reboot, the way it was meant to. And I know you are a wealth of information when it comes to that. And I'd love for you to share with our audience how important sleep is and what happens, during our sleep, and why is it important to make sure that we get that rest that we need.
Oh, certainly. Well, as was mentioned in the advertisement we just heard, there was a connection with sleep between the HPA axis, hypophyseal, pituitary, and adrenal axis. This actually is a signaling system that releases the information from the brain to the pituitary to release ACTH, which will send out a signal to the adrenals to actually make cortisol. Now, cortisol is what wakes us up in the morning after supposedly a good night's sleep, and then what it does is it gets us with adequate amounts of cortisol, gets us through the morning and all the activities that are necessary in the initiation of our workday, and then through our lunch period, and then down to 6 p.m., it begins to drop. Now, it started to rise at 6 a.m. when we were awakened, and at 6 p.m., it's now dropping down so that we can begin to sleep. Then at 10 p.m., we should be in asleep for the evening. Now, I know this doesn't always happen, but that's ideally what should be. About 10 o'clock, from 10 to 2 in the morning, the body needs that time. The body needs that time to do all the processing and detoxing through the liver and all the processes through our circulation to heal the body itself. And all of this is happening between 10 and 2 a.m., 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Then from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. again, when the cortisol level begins to rise again at 6 a.m. Between 2 and 4 a.m., that is when the neurological system heals itself. So the brain, peripheral, and central nervous system does all of this repair during that time. So it's incredibly important that adequate amount of sleep is obtained. Unfortunately, one of the most terrible things that happens with the use of cocaine and crystal meth is that people stay awake for days and days and days. And this makes a terrible impact on that axis. And the cortisol level is totally mixed up. So their sleep pattern could be actually so disturbed that they have multiple fractured sleeping events every night. So it is important to pay attention to your lifestyle, to be sure that you're having adequate sleep so that all of the signaling from the brain to the adrenal to release cortisol is done properly. So that's a generalization and an overview of why it's important to have a good sleep pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And also, I know a lot of times people say that, they just can't turn off their mind, right? They're thinking constantly. They have thoughts. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. That could be caused by stress, anxiety, right? Different things. And our peace patch helps so much with that because the body and the mind need to settle, if you will, so the body can start, the relaxation process so we're able to go to sleep. Have you had any results with the peace patch as well that you can share with us?
Yeah, the peace patch actually works very well with stress. Now, stress activates our reactive systems in the body to react to an emergency, depending on the type of stress that we have. Now, an acute problem will release epinephrine, norepinephrine, and then when the acute stress is over, they are no longer released. Mm-hmm. However, when stress becomes chronic, and there is a distribution of from signaling from the hypophyseal pituitary adrenal axis, that pituitary continues to put out this signaling to the adrenal to make more and more and more cortisol. Well, then the people that are having the racing mind have a very high flat cortisol level when it should be dropping down in the evening, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Their level is still very high. And what we recommend is to have a 4-point saliva test to actually get the proper level of the cortisol that's being generated in that person during those 4 points, during those times. And it's a chronic problem that evolves over time with excess cortisol, and the people that have this cortisol level so high are lying in bed, their mind is racing, and they just can't seem to turn it off.
Mm-hmm. So by using the peace patch, right? So by using the peace patch, that will allow them to settle in, correct?
A peace patch with the red patch, absolutely. Now, all of this is inflammatory. All of this is inflammatory, and so the anti-aging or anti-inflammatory parts of the Liberty patch can be used for a person that has the difficulty with sleeping, with their mind racing, and you can't get to sleep. The 3 patches together would probably be best for them. Now, sure. if things are, don't forget, we're not trying to try to make any diagnosis, treat or cure any diseases here. But what we have to do is ask questions so we can properly assign a patch that might be helpful for our client to have the patch begin to restore and signal the brain to put homeostasis balance back into play, allow the body to heal itself.
Right. Very good. So another patch that is important is our focus patch, because again, so many folks, it's easy to get sidetracked, right? It's hard, even for children, right? Because these patches can be worn by children as well because there are no ingredients, right? There's nothing going into our body. So it's safe for every single person. But even children, right, have a hard time focusing, whether it be for studying or homework or exams or, even adults, right, with work. And so that's another great patch as far as, staying focused on task. That's a great patch to where you can, instead of, being all over the place, it helps you to settle in and stay on task with something.
Absolutely right, Ava. And it's the focus patch is very key to part of our life that we have for learning and creating things. And sometimes there's distractions that interrupt and take away our focus from the task that's at hand. So if possible, to have more attention paid and where the focus patch, these interruptions can be dealt with in a more productive way so that we don't get deviated from the task itself. So I guess multitasking becomes a skill.
That's right.
Yeah. So it is a skill, and it takes attention to do that because, okay, I just got interrupted, but my task is over here, and then go right back to it. And that's what the focus patch will help with.
Wonderful. And then we have another amazing patch, our Kick It patch, for folks that want to break a bad habit, right? What's a bad habit? It could be maybe you're biting your nails, or maybe you're smoking and you want to quit smoking, or maybe you're, I don't know, chomping on gum all day, or you're, having too many snacks, or you're wanting chocolate all the time, or, we all have our own little, bad habits that we'd like to break. And can you touch on that a little bit and how that works for us?
Well, let's just stick with obesity for a second, which is a result of the most prevalent and addiction that we have on this earth, and it's food. People are addicted to food, and mostly they're addicted to sugar. So if we can incorporate the Kick It patch, it's used with the Ignite patch, and at the same time have the client concentrating on lifestyle changes of keeping their carbohydrate intake to about 60 grams a day total, things will begin to improve. And yes, the Kick It patch will help them do that because like anything else, they have to, number one, admit what they're trying to overcome and want to overcome it. So that is what the Kick It patch is very good for. And it will be able to help them focus on avoiding excessive carbohydrate and hopefully to get to a healthy weight.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of great success with people that, have been smoking. It's allowed them to quit. I was talking to a gentleman last week who used to bite his nails. And he said since he's been wearing the Kick It patch, he's not done that since. And he said, this is the first time in my life I actually have nails. And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
But again, so many people have so many. Yes, they have so many habits, and to be able to take control of those habits, right? And to control them instead of the habit controlling you. And it's done naturally and organically with these patches. So go to mypatchqueen.com. You can read all about the patches. There's videos in there, all kinds of information. There's testimonies, and it can really show you how this can also help you as well. Now, we have something great here, Dr. G, because we have obviously no ingredients, because again, we don't need one more chemical going into our bodies, right? So these patches are all natural. Yeah, it's actually a technology. Mhm. So we have FDA registration, which means the patches do what they say they do, which is very important. The patches are actually printed by 3M, so it's a surgical grade material, right? So they are latex free, they are vegan, and they're safe for children and adults. And you know, it doesn't matter if you're 2 or 102. And the beautiful thing is, as you know, that you can wear multiple patches. So based on your wants and your needs, you can use the according, patches that you need. And so I know I have been sharing this with people across the nation as we build this out, because for the first time in our lives, and you can, attest to this because you have been a physician. I mean, I think it's what, 30, 40 years that you've been practicing. I mean, it's a lifetime. You've seen it all, you've heard it all. But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time in our lifetime that we actually have something that every single person can use, again, regardless of if they're 2 or 102, right? Number one. Number two, every person needs at least one patch, if not more. And this is the first time that we have something that is just so natural, where it allows our bodies to repair itself the way it was meant to, just by bridging the communication gap. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Because we're talking no side effects, right? No, nothing. It doesn't interfere with anything. I mean, as a doctor, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, as I implied before, one of the main reasons why I'm looking for natural solutions like Super Patch is that medicine has lost its way. Everything is this disease, this drug, this disease, this drug. And there's never any interest in finding out the root cause of the problem. And that is something that is overlooked in many different areas of medicine. And what Jay has actually done here is gotten the information from our system, from our skin receptors. The patches are specifically placed, and they collect the information from our skin receptors and through the ion channels of our body, deliver this message in coded form to the brain so that the brain can take action to begin the balance that's necessary, or the corrections that are necessary. So whether it's the Ignite patch for decreased calorie burning, the Kick It patch for the client that wants to be able to resist overeating or biting their nails, smoking cigarettes, or stopping alcohol. All of these things are because of the link between the code that's sent to the brain and the action the brain takes. So it's very important that we set our body back on the track to heal itself, and that's what this patch does in a natural way.
Right. And like I said, we've never seen this before in our lifetime. And I know you're very excited about what we have our hands on. I know I am. And we're actually sharing this with as many people as possible, because people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're tired of medications. They're tired of their bodies breaking down. And they just want to feel better, right? Because when you feel better, you do better. And I know this has been life-changing for me. It's given me my life back. And I know you hear testimonies all the time as well. So it's that time of year as well where people struggle right now. They struggle with, it could be, eating, right? Or it could be they've lost a loved one, so it's an emotional struggle. Or, it could be a financial struggle. And so not only are we able to help them, with their physical, but we're also able to help them with their financial health as well, which is very important. And people are always looking for a side hustle, if you will. They're looking to build a home based business of some sort. I know moms want to come home and raise children. Some people want to retire early. I know this attracted you because obviously, number one, for the health benefits, but also you can take your education now to a whole nother level by helping, thousands of people where before, as a doctor, your hands were tied to so many patients. So can you touch on the business side a little bit? Because I think it's important, to kind of see
Well,
how you see it
yes,
as well.
it's extremely important because as we were talking about stress before, one of the biggest stresses is financial stress that happens to all of us all the time. Whether it's a $6,000 repair on a car or an illness in the hospital with a loved one, and they've got a tremendous hospital bill. All of these things are very stressful. But a simple solution to this, a drug-free, non-invasive, affordable patch that is going to put the body back in balance so that you begin to feel like you should feel because the body is taking care of itself. Now, I'm happy with the results it gave me. It cleared up a very terrible injury that I had in the hamstring muscle on my left leg. Within 24 hours, there was almost no pain, and in 48 hours, there was no more limping, and everything was back to normal. Now, does this happen for every client? I wish it did, but most, it happens that quickly. Some people get relief within the first 15, 20 minutes, half hour.
Right.
But as we get excited and it helps you individually and you share the goodness that a super patch can do, there is a very healthy commission system that will allow you to have a stream of income that can offset some of the stress from financial demands that are very prevalent today.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love about this, and I think your passion lies there as well, that the more people you help, right, the more rewards that come your way. And I love that because, I tell people if you do not like people and you don't want to help people, this is probably not the right business for you, right? Because this is all about, helping folks get their health and wellness back, helping them build a side hustle if they want, or build, a big business if this is what they want to do, like I'm doing, like you're doing, right? And so the rewards
Yeah.
are so great here because without our physical and financial health, I mean, we're pretty much in trouble. So, and this is the perfect
Absolutely
time.
right.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's a perfect
And
blend of a health system, not only for the body, but for the economic stress that's caused so often to many families and individuals. And if Super Patch, being drug-free, non-invasive, and affordable, does this in such a simple way, why wouldn't you want to tell people about it? Why
right.
not? I mean, you go to the Urgy Center, you're going to get a drug. That's it.
Right.
You're not going to get a chance to have your body put back on track. Now, I'm not
Right.
saying not to take care of diseases that doctors might say you need an antibiotic for.
Of
I'm
course.
saying that in general, we are trying to put the body back on track to do its own healing. So I recommend that you tell as many people as you can about this very simple, drug-free, non-invasive, affordable system.
Absolutely. And as humans, it's funny because this is what we do. We share, right? So if you and I went out to this restaurant and we had terrible food and terrible service, we would probably tell everyone. And if we went out to a restaurant and we had great food and great service, we would tell everyone, right? I mean, because that's what we do as humans is we share. We share with our family, we share with our friends, colleagues, whether there's a sale going on somewhere or we just bought this car that we love because it does this, that, or the other. Or, it could be a restaurant, it could be a movie, right? It could be a number of things that come our way. And as they come our way, whether it's good or bad, we share. And so for the first time now, we have something, like you said, that's non-invasive, that's natural, that's affordable, that will allow us to take back our health and wellness. Now, is there a time and a place for medication? As you said, of course there is. There are certain times you have to take medications, but not for everyday health and wellness, right? And I guess this is what we're talking about here is capturing your health and wellness back, allowing the body to repair itself the way it was built, because this is how it was made, to repair itself. Because, Doc, and you shared this earlier, I mean, our bodies come from a depleted ground, our food source, right? We don't get the vitamins, the minerals, the omegas, the proteins, everything our bodies need. And so that's why we have a lot of breakdown as well, because it doesn't come from our food source like it used to, for sure. So that's another
Absolutely.
big issue. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
and then on top of it, when they start taking peculiar measures to reduce the insects in the food product, and they
Mhm.
use things like weed killer and
Mhm.
things that absolutely go right into our food, right
Right.
to the seeds and the oils that are pressed
Mhm.
out of those plants that were treated with, and it just is just documented over and over again.
Yeah.
Cancer results from that. All kinds of
Mhm.
autoimmune diseases results from that. All kinds of, gut issues, loss of
Mhm.
the balance of the biome, and the leaky
Yeah.
gut. All of that can be a
Yeah.
result of poor soil and unfortunate use of insecticides.
Yeah. Again, that's just poison going back into our bodies. So, Dr. G, I want to thank you again for coming on today and being my guest. I always appreciate your knowledge. I love your passion for taking health and wellness back. Thank you so much. Have a Merry Christmas. I
You're
know
very
we'll be talking again soon. And I appreciate all that you
Mhm.
do to help people, take back their health and wellness. So go to mypatchqueen.com. All the videos are in there. All the information is in there. You can also reach out to me. Thank you so much. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, and we will talk soon. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you for being a part of today's episode of Health and Wellness with Eva. We hope you found today's discussion both enlightening and inspiring. Your encouragement and enthusiasm are what make our wellness community so vibrant. Until next week, Mondays at 4 or live on South Florida's True Oldies radio station at 8 p.m. Keep pursuing a healthier and happier you. Call 765-425-7445 for all your wellness questions.